Hello, Serge here for the Backyard Driving Range. Okay, folks, today might be a breakthrough day, or at least I don't think I'm gonna introduce a new drill today, and I don't think I've ever talked about this one before, because I think I only created it about 2 or 3 days ago in a lesson, and again with one of my main students, Dr. Richard. Richard, he's a dentist, and then I was with his brother Cal, and in both cases, one of them had a good lag holding the club coming down, and the other one had an early release. All right, which is very much like what really happens when you're aimed really to the right and you got to come over the top and you throw the club at the ball. All right, so early release means you've lost this angle that you set, that was actually set right about there, because from there as the club goes up, it's right there. Because remember, you can keep that angle once you rotate to there, and you can keep it all the way up and all the way to about here on the way down, because we're lifting and moving the club from our shoulders, not our elbows and not our wrist. But we do allow, once it gets up here and there's weight there and there's torque and there's stress getting put on the elbow, we can allow a little flexation but not breaking. And flexing is good because it stretches all the muscle groups more. Okay? So I had one of the Doctor brothers always had a problem with early releasing, and the other one had it pretty good where he maintained it. So the question becomes, how can you learn what is the right amount of lag? All right? Now, you got to understand, when you come up and you swing vertical, as soon as I transition, the body going this way makes this shoulder goes up, which actually forces the arm to rotate. You know, even though I'm not rotating the arm, the shoulder angle and the arm connection to it makes the club stop falling that way. All right? We want to not let that happen. We want to fight that as much as we can, because if it's going this way, then what do I got coming in? That club's wide open, I'm going to have a really serious flip at the last minute. That's what kind of really hurt Sergio for a while, and he actually took almost a year off to get control of it. He's still doing too much of it, in my opinion, but he's got better control of it because he's still considered he's considered for the last number of years one of the best ball strikers on tour. So he's got control of it. But I still wouldn't, you know, I'd still like to see him fight it and keep it more vertical. So here's the key in my mind. When I swing a golf club, a lot of things in my swing, my mind is making me feel and sense certain things that I know aren't really happening, but I need to sense them that as radically as I'm going to detail it to you right now, to make sure that I don't lose it. In my mind, when I swing a golf club, I feel like I take the club straight back, straight up, straight down, and straight up. I feel like I'm swinging like this, right in front of me, all right? Like a Ferris wheel. I'm pretty darn close to it right there. But when I bump and go here, once that club starts to fall and that club head starts getting outside of this hand, gravity's got it. If I don't control it, it's going to fall like a brick, all right? Once it gets out from pure light, which is just about what we are at 12 o'clock on an upswing, where it'll come straight down. Once it goes out there, it's going to stop falling sideways, and it's going to reach a point where you can't save it, okay? That's where Sergio got to. Now he's at a point where he can still save it. And he doesn't get into that, so to speak, that dead zone that gets it to the point where he can't save it, because it'll be an uncontrollable flip at impact. So in my mind, once I come up here and I bump like this, you know the hand, this right hand, for a right hand, it would be bottom hand, it would be a lefty for a lefty. They tell you don't use it. This hand's working overtime through the whole swing. First off, I'm right-handed. So I believe, without a doubt, I got more strength in it. I got more control in it. I got more touch, sense, and feel in it. So this hand, right when I get here, this right hand's helping lift the club up. It's lifting the club up, all right? Because if it doesn't do anything, and it's dead weight on the left hand. So it's pulling the club up. And guess what happens when it comes down? They're both pulling the club down. But this one's working overtime to try to stay just like this. And in fact, it will likely get a little bit bigger angle there, because I'm trying to keep that angle up there. I want, if anything, I want it to increase. I want it to go past 90 degrees and go and get less. I don't want it, in other words, I don't mind if it goes 89, 88, 87, 86, 85. It can't go much farther than that because it can't bend anymore. But I want it to lose angle up there, not gain angle. Not go from 90, 91, 92, 95 to go almost to 160. I've seen people in the golf, by the time they're here, that their left arm is shaft, you've all seen it. your left arm and shaft's in a straight line. That's 180 degrees. You just bent it 90 degrees. You went from 90, if you had it vertical, to 90 degrees there. So the lag drill is you get it up there and you just pull the club down. Now, you could bump a little bit if you want, but remember the bump's only about 1 inch. You bump, and I just want you to keep that club. I want this right hand working overtime, that it's, if anything, it's coming down and pulling the club, you know, making that club stay here. These fingers, these 3 fingers are working overtime to keep that club there. We don't want that. This we want. So if anything, I want to lose the angle a little bit right here, and then at the last second, because even if I lose a little bit of angle now I got a more powerful rotation to square into the ball. And all of that will just happen because God promised us, and we built our bodies, they cross at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and so when you got your hands perpendicular to the ground, they're going to come up here, always going to snap back to perpendicular. That's why a 3P grip, palms perpendicular to the ground, perpendicular to torso, and perpendicular to aiming line, will always return the dead perpendicular to the ball. So if you got a perfect 3P grip and your club face is perfectly perpendicular to the ground, the leading edge, all of that, once you come back in here and you maintain that angle coming down, if anything, it's going to get a little, it's going to lose from 90 degrees, go 89, 88, 87 or something. When you come here, it's always going to right there, and especially because we don't do it to just get right there. We're doing it to get toe up and toe up all the way up in the finish. So we're not specifically targeting that point, but we know that if we got control of it here and we've maintained that lag position, and the right hand's working like crazy to do that, then when I swing it and toe up into that mitt and toe up the tree and over my shoulder, so when I get a toe up here, the toe up and over here and recoil toe up, it very likely with good alignment, it's going to be square at impact, and you are going to hit some pure dead solid shots. Straighter, longer, and start hitting the ball better, naturally shooting those lower scores. So that's the lag drill, okay? Lag drill incorporates a lot of the top hand. The top hand is working overtime throughout the whole swing, but they're both grip, equal pressure, but they're both working. Pulling up, pulling down, and pulling back up. All right, that's it for the search for today on the lag drill. Try that and see if you like it. I'm sure you will, because what you're really going to like is how solid and how much straighter you start hitting it. That's it for today, and I'll be speaking with you all again soon.